Our chairman, my dear brother and friend, His Royal Majesty, the Agbogbo of Asogli State, Togbe Afede the 14th, Regional Minister, the NDC Regional Chairman, and other executives who have accompanied me here, proud citizens of the Asogli State, from home and abroad, Ghanaians, international tourists, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me much pride to be here with you, Togbe Mamao, elders, our fathers and mothers, who are the custodians of the land, to join hands with you to commemorate the occasion of the 2022 Asogli Teza. It is a heartwarming feeling to always be back here in hope and to look around and witness such a colorful and vibrant display of culture, an array of people, young and old, families and individuals from all walks of life, from home and abroad, gathered for this important and most popular festival. Earlier in the week, we were serenaded on social media with photos from what was a very well patronized procession through the streets of Asogli, and we all could not help but admire the picturesque and unique dressing and culture that was put on display on that day. As a son of the Volta region, such positive portrayal of our culture and traditions brings me enormous joy. And that is why I want to commend and celebrate the efforts and commitments of Togbe Afede for the rebranding, innovation, and vibrancy of the annual Yam Festival that it has enjoyed since its installment. Congratulations, Togbe. My brothers and sisters, festivals have been a good rallying point for redefining our cultural identity and heritage. They don't only serve as an opportunity to remind ourselves of our history, but they also serve as occasions for reviewing our development plans as a people and unlearn the undesirable aspects of our culture, their consequences, and the changing dynamics of festivals in this era of globalization. I am fascinated by the story behind the Asogli Yam Festival. What struck me was the fact that the festival had its origins traced to a hunter and not to a farmer. For those of you who remember the story of Cain and Abel in the Bible, one was a hunter and the other was a farmer. When God chose the sacrifice of one over the other, it led to the first man-made murder or conflict in the Bible. But in the narrative of the Asogli Yam Festival, a hunter is celebrated today not because of his hunting prowess, but for the cultivation of a crop that has become the mainstay of our economy and is one of the most important staples in our country today. All over this country, from north to south, yam is grown and eaten by all our people. The lesson that immediately comes to mind in the story of this hunter turned cultivator is the need for us to be prepared to take advantage of opportunities and to be multidimensional whenever we get the chance. We must adapt to circumstances and seek creative solutions to resolve all societal challenges. Our ancestors who instituted our festivals were very wise. I believe that the Teza, much like the process of cultivating the yam crop, teaches us about the importance of labor and industry, of patience, of nurturing, of sharing, and of community. In addition to the beautiful festival we celebrate every year, however, I've been reflecting on what next after the festival. Yam is a highly exportable crop, and Ghana is one of the world's leading exporters of yam. Ghana's total export value of yam is estimated at around $48 million as at 2021. $48 million, but I think we can do better. There's still a huge advantage and potential for our local economic upliftment and development if we develop the cultivation and export of yam. Taking advantage of the potential yam offers for the local economy will no doubt require the participation of the state and government to stimulate local economic activity, for example, in the Asogli state. And we must also promote the consumption of yam domestically, because yam is not imported into Ghana. We grow it ourselves and we eat it ourselves. And as the saying goes, grow what you eat and eat what you grow. How many yam plantations do we have in our communities? And can we have a communal or district yam production target aiming to be the #1 yam producing community in Ghana? And I'm sure that if we did that, Asogli will be amongst the top 10 in production of yam. We must increase astronomically our contribution to the national food basket through the farming and production of yam. Your Royal Majesty Togbe, the Asogli state and its people constitute a vital part of the national thread used in the yarning of our cohesive national fabric we all know, uphold, and love as our country, Ghana. Therefore, I congratulate you all for the various valuable roles you have played as traditional leaders, a people and partners that have led to the development of the Asogli state. This shows what can be achieved when there's unity of purpose. Once again, I say congratulations, Togbe. For those of you who think that the institution of chieftaincy has no place in our modern governance and refuse to respect the traditional role of chiefs, you have got it all wrong. Nothing can be further from the truth. I maintain that our traditional leaders and the institution of chieftaincy are as relevant today as they have been in the past. And I use Togbe, His Royal Majesty Togbe Afede, as a role model. Not only is he a modern chief, not only is he an educated, knowledgeable, highly skilled, expert, financial advisor, but he is also an industrialist. And Togbe is remembered for the contribution he has made to the energy sector of Ghana through the establishment of the Asogli power plant in Tema today. And so with chiefs like Togbe collaborating and working together with government, if we had many more Togbe Afedes all over the country, working in partnership with government, I'm sure that Ghana will be a much better place than it is today. The theme for today's festival calls on us to eschew greed and unite for peace and development and prosperity. This is a very relevant theme. For our nation to prosper, we must eschew greed and self-interest and unite for peace and development. Our country today is confronted with major challenges. For our nation to prosper, we need to eschew greed. This is a message that must resound not only in our families, but also in our places of worship, in our schools, in our workplaces, in our communities, and among the leadership of our country. In a time of great strife and difficulty that we are in, what we need is unity and not division. Our Ghanaian culture teaches us to show solidarity with one another. In our communities, when someone gives birth, we all go to support the person by fetching water, providing firewood, and contributing the little that everyone can get to support that family. When there's a funeral, the entire community stops whatever it's doing and goes to the support of the bereaved family. And most of our patriotic songs in Ghana reflect this virtue of Ghanaian solidarity. I believe that it will take efforts of everyone working together to build our nation Ghana. Unfortunately, it appears that greed and self-centeredness are gradually eroding these time-tested virtues that were bequeathed us by our ancestors. Today, many people place their parochial interests above our collective interest as a nation. Politicians must lead the way for every Ghanaian and all the other stakeholders in our nation's development to follow. Not very far from our present location, the composer of our national anthem, Philip Beho, wrote these words, and these are eternal lines in our national anthem. He said, "Make us cherish fearless honesty and help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and all our might forevermore." It says, "Make us cherish fearless honesty and help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forevermore." This means that as people in authority and in leadership, we must not massage the truth, but we must be bold always and fearless in speaking the truth. And I must say, one traditional leader who has always spoken the truth, no matter who is hurt by the truth, is Asogli Afede the 14th. And so, when a traditional ruler and a former member of the Council of State returns a gratuity that was paid to him because he thinks it was not necessary and he didn't deserve to have that money paid to him, he should receive acknowledgements and gratitude and not insults. Asogli, you're a man of principle, you're a man of conviction, and we all admire you for that. And so don't change, just continue being yourself. As I said recently, I want to assure all Ghanaians that the next NDC administration, as I've recently said, will revisit the matter of Article 71 emoluments, especially the issue of ex gratia payments and the size of government, to cut down on expenditure as a way of protecting our scarce resources. Asogli has been a powerful pillar in the development of our dear nation, and as a distinguished businessman and a respected traditional ruler who has served as president of the Volta Regional House of Chiefs and also the immediate past president of the National House of Chiefs. He's never shied away, as I said, from expressing his views on critical national issues. Ghana is the only country we have. We must therefore work hard and do all we can to protect it from abuse from whichever quarters that may come. Ladies and gentlemen, this government, the NPP government, has completely lost control of the fight against corruption. President Akufo-Addo, in his inaugural address, promised to protect the public purse. Today, even that public purse cannot be found. The revelations in the Auditor General's report for 2021 is simply a microcosm of the real extent of the seeming institutionalization of corruption under this administration. I'm glad that you're using this festival to draw attention to this important national issue that requires the support of all citizens to address. The economic hardship in Ghana today is unbearable. Cost of living has increased significantly because of rising inflation. Prices are changing in the market every day, and this makes it very difficult for the ordinary Ghanaian to survive. To make matters worse, the cost of agricultural inputs is also rising consistently at a very fast pace. From my interactions, I've been told that the cost of fertilizer in the region has gone up so much that is making it difficult for farmers to be able to afford. And that makes me fear for next year, because this is the planting season, and the farmers cannot afford fertilizer. What they are doing is some are planting without fertilizer, and others plant only the acreage for which they can afford the fertilizer. And so if he was doing 10 acres and he can afford fertilizer for only 3 acres, he will cultivate only 3 acres this year. And so I'm very afraid for what will happen next year in terms of food prices in the market. Similarly, premixed fuel that our fishermen rely on has also become very expensive. And apart from that, it has become scarce to access in the riverine areas in the Volta region, because it is being hoarded and diverted. A lot of the premix is being given to party executives instead of fishermen. And the fishermen have to go back to these MPP party executives to buy the premix at a higher price than the government is offering it. I want to encourage the authorities in the Volta region, especially the regional minister, to take an interest in this premix issue and the rampant diversion that is taking place, so that our fishermen can remain in the trade and be able to feed themselves and their families. Togbiwo Mamao, ladies and gentlemen, I continue to express my sadness with the abandoning of several government projects that were initiated by past administrations, including mine. It is unfair to all Ghanaians because it is our money, our taxes, that goes to waste when projects like these are abandoned. As a responsible Ghanaian and a public-spirited person and a servant of the people, I'll continue to urge government, and indeed all future governments, to stop this unhealthy, wasteful, and anti-progressive action of abandoning ongoing government projects inherited from previous administrations. Many of the projects started by the NDC administration have been abandoned, and others that should have been completed in the region are being done at a very slow pace. The Sokodeh to Ho Road, for example, is one of such projects. This road should have been finished long ago, and yet today we still see work ongoing. I also noticed that the interchange at the roundabout of the University of Health and Allied Sciences has been removed, and just a small roundabout is being put there. The 5 district water projects, which should have covered and come all the way to Adaklu, should have been completed long ago, but has been abandoned. The Volivo Bridge over the Southern Volta River should also have been under construction by now, but it has stalled. The Akrofo landfill site has also been abandoned. On the Eastern Corridor, work is progressing at a very slow pace. The Jasikan Hohoi section was awarded at the time to Rolida Construction, and this government asked them to stop work, delayed the project for almost 4 years before they asked them to go back to work, and it is only now being completed. There are many other sections, the Have Peki section, and then in the north, the Nkwanta section up to Damanko are still waiting to be completed. Togbi, I want to commend our members of parliament for their proactiveness and quick action when the tidal wave struck in Anglo, Ketu, and Ketu South constituencies. I make a commitment on behalf of NDC that, God willing, and thanks to your votes, in 2025, all these abandoned projects will be resumed. This region deserves all it can get from an NDC administration. And as we have done before, we will do again and even better for our beloved Volta region. With private sector partnership and the required investment, we can create, develop, promote, and manage very serene, memorable, and fun-filled tourism activities here in various locations in Volta region. I'm personally committed to the development of the Volta region and tapping the potential, especially in the area of tourism and agriculture and agribusiness. We should aim at making the Volta region one of the most visited regions in Ghana and make it economically beneficial for the people who reside here. Others continue to criticize the construction of an airport, but I'm unwavering in the vision that underpinned that infrastructure. Today, I had to attend a function this morning, a funeral at the forecourt of the State House. It ended a little after 12 o'clock. I went home, went and changed, went to the airport, caught a charter flight, and I landed in Ho to be able to be here with you at this time. If that airport had not been built, I probably would be around Joapon by now, driving like a madman to try and catch you at this festival. The Volta region of Ghana is better for it, just as the decision we took to operationalize the airports in Wa, expand and modernize the Tamale and Kumasi airports. My brothers and sisters, as we climax this year's celebration, I want to remind Ghanaians that we all have a role to play in the development of our nation. It is our collective duty and a duty we have to eschew greed, a duty to think and act in unity, and a duty for all of us to strive and work for peace in the quest of development and prosperity. On my behalf, on behalf of the National Democratic Congress, I want to recognize Togbi Afede's commitment to the development of Ghana, Volta region, and the Asogli state in particular. We continue to encourage you and urge you to continue to bring development to your people as you have done, and to continue to be the principled person that you are. May God bless the Asogli state. May God bless Volta region. May God bless the Republic of Ghana. And may God bless us all.